Some selected Psalms. We're looking at Psalm 30 today, reading out of the New Living Translation, and I think you'll find it an encouraging song of worship. The Psalms were kind of like the hymn book of the Hebrew people. Matter of fact, even in the Middle Ages, people sung psalms as a part of worship. Join me in looking at Psalm 30. It's a psalm of David, it says at the top, and a song for the dedication of the temple. So right away we have a hint that this is a sacred psalm, a psalm that will be dealing with worship and what happens at the temple. Notice in verses 1 through 5, we have the rescue. I will exalt you, Lord, for you rescued me. It's kind of like God pulled him out of the miry pit, the quicksand. God saving us from disaster. So many times I think God has stepped into our lives and saved us from ourselves. I will exalt you, I will worship you, Lord, for you rescued me. I worship him for what God has done in my life and for my life. You refuse to let my enemies triumph over me. And then he goes to prayer. O Lord, my God, I cried to you for help. I worship you, I exalt you, and then I pray to you. I cried to you for help, and you restored my health. Evidently, there might have been some sickness or some moment of illness, and God restored his health. You brought me up from the grave, O Lord. You kept me from falling into the pit of death. Maybe he was near death, but worship is part of this thanksgiving, this gratitude, this worship to God. Notice, sing to the Lord, all you godly ones. Praise his holy name. Certainly exalting God is a part of worship. Certainly prayer is a part of worship. And certainly singing is a part of worship. And so in verse 4, sing to the Lord. For his anger lasts only a moment, but his favor lasts a lifetime. Weeping may last through the night, but joy comes with the morning. Sometimes if you're going through difficult days, a good night's sleep can just refresh your soul. Waking up after a good night's sleep the next day gives you a new perspective on the situation that you may find yourself in. And so the psalm writer here says that weeping may last through the night, but joy comes in the morning. And then notice in verses 6 through 10. In verses 1 through 5, we see how God has helped him, and his response was worship. And now in verses 6 through 10, we see this overconfidence. When I was prosperous, I said, nothing can stop me now. Kind of boasting, prideful. And we've probably all been there sometime in our life when we thought, oh man, things are going great. I'm doing well. And we seem to be on the positive side of life. And we get this overconfidence in our own strength. Your favor, O Lord, made me as secure as a mountain. Then you turned away from me and I was shattered. Shattered maybe the sickness or the illness that was kind of weakening his self-confidence. But this overconfidence we all have to be aware of. Sometimes we can take too much stock in our own strength. I cried out to you, O Lord. I begged the Lord for mercy, saying, what will you gain if I die, if I sink into the grave? Can my dust praise you? Can it tell of your faithfulness? And of course, the obvious answer is no, a dead person doesn't sing his praise to his Creator. But God, I cry out to you. I beg for your mercy. And certainly we don't want God's justice in our life. We want his mercy. We want his grace to come and overwhelm us. His forgiveness, his everlasting love. So here in verses 6 through 10, we see his overconfidence. But now in verses 11 and 12, as we close out this psalm, we see a celebration as he understands that God is his strength, God is his song, and God is his salvation. Verse 11, you have turned my mourning into joyful dancing. You have taken away my clothes of mourning and clothed me with joy. God has taken the ashes and turned them into beauty. God has given him happiness, cheerfulness, and joy in his soul. And God is being worshipped and honored because of it. You have taken away my clothes of mourning and clothed me with joy, that I might sing praises to you and not be silent. O Lord my God, I will give you thanks forever. A beautiful psalm, Psalm 30 of worship. God, I worship you for rescuing me out of the pit of despair. And God, when I had overconfidence, you came in my weakest moments, I again then cried to you. You become my strength. You become my salvation. You become my hope. And then he ends with thanksgiving. Thank you, God, for helping me, for getting my perspective correct, for setting me straight. And Lord, as I come into your temple for worship, I have much to be thankful for, much to worship you for. May God bless you today, and God keep you.